Happy Valentine's Day, creeps! Welcome back, or welcome to this episode of Any Last Words. I'm your host, Joe. If you don't know already, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to ding that notification bell so that you never miss another episode. Now, I know the title says the true story that inspired The Hills Have Eyes, but there's a lot of controversy as to whether or not this was a real event or not. The story actually was found in written form 100 years after the event supposedly took place, and some of the dates don't quite match up. So no one really knows for sure if this was a true story or if this was a form of hate against the Scottish, like just bad propaganda kind of deal. Because I guess the name Sawney Shawnee? I guess the name Sawney is kind of like a derogatory slang for Scottish. I couldn't really understand what it meant, but basically it was like the equivalent of calling an Irish person a Paddy. So that makes sense to me. Anyway, this is the story, true or not. Maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know. It's crazy. This would be insane if this was true. But this is the story. So let's talk about the film that we all know called The Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes is a 1977 horror film directed and edited by Wes Craven and starring Susan Lanner, Michael Barrymore, and Dee Wallace. The film follows the Carters, a suburban family targeted by a family of cannibal savages after becoming stranded in the Nevada desert. There have been remakes to it, but here's the story that inspired the film as well as a few others. Alexander Bean was born somewhere in the 15 to 1600s in East Lothian, Scotland, to a farm labor family. Once Shawnee became of age, he began working with his father, who was a ditch digger and a hedge trimmer. He soon gave up because he really hated doing any kind of manual labor, which doesn't make sense for later in the story, but whatever. After meeting and marrying a woman named Agnes Black Douglas, they were run out of the village because Agnes was said to be very vicious and vile like he was and accused of practicing black magic. Because Shawnee was kind of lazy and had no real trade, he decided that robbing people would be a great way to support his new bride. Sawney would ambush and rob people who traveled the trails that led to the villages. But after thinking about it, he realized he'd have to do something about avoiding being caught by those he victimized. So he decided to murder them. But that didn't stop there. In order to keep the dead bodies from being discovered, he came up with the conclusion that eating his victims would not only discard of them, but provide he and his wife a source of high-protein diet to live on. Yum yum, Atkins. Eventually, the couple would end up in a coastal cave in Beany Head, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, between Girvan and Ballatray. The cave was 200 yards deep, so it was a fairly large cave, and the entrance was blocked by water during high tide twice a day, so that the couple were able to live undiscovered for some 25 years. Sawney and Agnes produced 8 sons, 6 daughters, 18 grandsons, and 14 granddaughters. Various children were products of incest between their children. That's gross. So because now they had over 40 mouths to feed, they worked together in groups to ambush and kill groups of travelers. The clan would dismember the bodies in order to easily bring their victims back to the cave to eat them. They pickled the leftovers in barrels or salted them to preserve them for later on. Some accounts say that Agnes used some of the remains to perform black magic rituals with. The clan discarded body parts which would sometimes wash up on the nearby beaches. This strategy was used to help conceal their crimes and lead villagers to believe that it was animals that were attacking the travelers. As local people began to take notice of the disappearances, several organized searches were launched to find the culprits. One search took notice of the cave, but the men refused to believe anything human could be living in it. The townspeople executed several people, but the disappearances continued. Suspicion often fell on local innkeepers since they were the last known to have seen many of the missing people alive, and many businesses closed shop due to not wanting to be harassed by the popo every time someone came up missing. Shit hit the fan one night after the Bean clan ambushed a married couple riding on horseback from the fair one night. The husband was skilled in combat and was able to hold off the clan with a sword and a pistol. The Beans were able to remove the wife from her horse, quickly were able to undress and disembowel her before her husband was able to get to her. Before they could take the resilient husband, a large group of fairgoers appeared in the trail and the Beans fled back to their cave. The fairgoers took the survivor to the local magistrate. The husband and his case were then brought to the attention of King James VI, there's debate on that, who assembled an army of 400 men and several bloodhounds to apprehend the Bean family. Once the Bean family was arrested, they were quickly put to death without trial. Some were dismembered, some were hanged, and some were said to be buried alive. That's not really karma, but it is what it is. Anyway, yeah. Family that slays together stays together. I guess. I don't know. That's fucking gross. What do you guys think? Do any of you guys, if there's even like kind of like Scottish historians out there, know anything more in detail about this story or whether or not it's actually factual? Because I would love to know that. Like I said, all the stuff that I saw, it was very, very little that said, very few people that said that these were real events or real events. And then there were a lot of them that said no, because there's too many discrepancies. You know, some say 1500s, some say 1600s, some say he was born in the 1300s. You know, some argue that it was King James VI or King James IV, which were in different time periods. Some were saying this story was completely made up as, you know, discriminatory propaganda against the Scottish, because at the time Scottish people were discriminated against. I don't know. It's a crazy story. I would believe that there's something out there like this. I really do, because the world is a scary place, kids. It really is. But I love the movie The Hills Have Eyes. The Hills Have Eyes. I've also heard that it was some inspiration for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the Sawyer family. Sawney, Sawyer. Ooh. I don't know what that was. But anyway, those are some movies that I really enjoy, so I thought this would be a really good story to tell. Yeah, what do you guys think about it? You guys give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. Hit the like button and don't forget to slash that notification bell so you never miss another episode. If you guys have a show topic that you would like me to go over, please hit me up on my email at anylastwordsjoe@gmail.com, and you might just see it in an upcoming episode. So, happy Valentine's Day again, guys. Hope you weren't eating dinner when you heard about this, and I hope you have nightmares about me. Mwah.